This is Darshana Gauchin with your daily news update for February 11th, 2026. We start with a quick look at regional markets. The MSCI Index of Emerging Asian Equities rose 1% to a historic high, lifted by a 1% gain in South Korea's Kospi Index and a 1.6% rise in Taiwan's benchmark equities gauge. Hong Kong's stock market ended higher Wednesday with the benchmark Hang Seng Index up 0.31%. Japan's stock market was closed for a holiday. Zooming in on Cambodia's market, the Cambodia Securities Exchange Index was up 1.59 points or 0.38% to 425.44. Total trade volume was up with 123,959 shares changing hands at a total value of 580.8 million real or over $144,000. On the main board, only 2 stocks were up, led by MJQ Education, while 2 stocks were also down, with Pestec Cambodia as the biggest loser of the day. Over on the growth board, JS Land was up, while DBD Engineering and Picasso City Garden were down. Shifting to the exchange rate, the Khmer Real strengthened to 4,029 Real per US dollar, while the US dollar index was down to 96.60. Turning to global commodities, oil prices gained on Wednesday, buoyed by escalating risk as US-Iran talks remain tenuous, while signs of an easing surplus spurred by better demand support from India also added strength. Brent crude oil futures were up 0.83% at $69.37 US dollars a barrel. US Texas Intermediate crude futures rose 0.88% to $64.52 US dollars. Gold prices gained, buoyed by a weaker dollar and lower treasury yields, while investors awaited key U.S. jobs data later in the day for clues on the U.S. Federal Reserve's policy outlook. Spot gold was 0.5% higher at $5,048.27 US dollars per ounce. U.S. gold futures for April delivery gained 0.8% to $5,072.60 US dollars per ounce. Looking at the crypto market, Bitcoin dropped to $68,700 US dollars, inside the range it has remained in the past few days, and much lower than its all-time high of $126,200 US dollars. Bitcoin's price action has coincided with a period of weak open interest in the futures market, a sign that demand remains weak. Moving on now to other business-related news. The Ministry of Rural Development has set a target to achieve 100% coverage of basic rural water supply and sanitation by 2030, in line with the Cambodia Sustainable Development Goals. The commitment was highlighted during a validation and dissemination workshop held in Phnom Penh on February 11th. Cambodia's Ministry of Labor and Vocational Training is set to launch a large-scale employment drive this weekend, offering more than 86,000 job opportunities targeted at returning migrants, workers, and local youth. The career fairs, scheduled for February 14th to 15th, aim to provide immediate employment solutions for workers recently returned from Thailand, as well as job seekers in the provinces of Kratche and Kampong Thom. Cambodia and Pakistan have agreed in principle to conduct talks on the establishment of a bilateral trade agreement, deepening trade and investment cooperation. The information was shared following a meeting between the Cambodian Minister of Commerce and the Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Foreign Affairs of Pakistan on February 10th in Islamabad. That's all for today's update. This was Darshana Gauchin for B2B Asia News.